another episode of the Canadian Watch Monkey, and today I'm going to be talking about Grand Seiko. And I've got a couple watches here. This one here is the automatic SBGR253. If it were a silver dial automatic in the 37 millimeter case, it would be the SBGR251. And you can see that's a great looking watch. I love the size of this watch so much. Now the other one right here is almost the identical watch, but in a quartz version. And this is the SBGX 063. And this one here is a little bit older. I believe this is like I think around a 2010, 2009. What gives it away that it's a little bit older is you've got the Seiko writing up here and then Grand Seiko down there. With the newer ones, you'll have Seiko gone from there. And I'm just going to zoom in a little bit here. And you can see it says Grand Seiko, and then it says automatic here. And this one here is powered by the, what movement is in this one here? The 9S65A, not the spring drive. The spring drive is the latest, greatest one. To me, this thing is more than adequate. Now, unless you've handled one, you can't really truly appreciate how fantastic these watches really are. Now, I had the Rolex Datejust. The model number was 126200 was a reference number. And it looked quite similar to this. Silver dial, oyster bracelet, 36 millimeter. Now, the thing I found with the Rolex is that they're considerably more modern looking. This has a little bit slightly vintagey look to it, which I truly appreciate. And the Rolex, I like the older models, mind you, the 5-digit ones, the Datejust, but I had the newer one, which was, again, the 126200. You can look that reference number up. And I'm telling you, this is the honest truth now. I would take a Grand Seiko over a Datejust. This SBGX 063 is a phenomenal watch, and it's really beautiful. And you can see over time, you're going to get scratches and so on. So you can still appreciate the Zaratsu polishing, as they call it, with the indices and the hands and so on. But the case, the bracelet, and that's going to get marked up over time. I guess you can always send it back to Grand Seiko to get repolished, but I heard that's quite expensive and probably something that I would never do. Maybe, if you do light polishing on your own and you know what you're doing, you can keep it in nice shape if that's what you want to do. Now, again, you can see this watch here is still in great shape. It's got a little ding there, and I think there's another small one here. Yeah, that's about it. And this is a 2019, and you can see it's really very presentable. Now, again, I've got these two watches here that I'm going to compare and just let you know what the differences are. Obviously, the one thing you're going to notice, or maybe not obviously, I've added the Cyclops here, and for those of you that know me, I love Cyclopses. And for me, I'm older, and I do need a Cyclops so I can see the date clearly. But that being said, I also like the aesthetics of it. It gives it a really interesting look, a little bit more interest. And I've done videos on how to install Cyclopses. It's very easy. And if you don't like the Cyclops, it can be easily removed as well. Not a problem at all. It takes me under 10 seconds probably to pop that off if I wanted to. But I don't. I'm going to leave it like this for now. So, okay, what are the differences between these two? They're both 37 millimeters. And again, as I mentioned, I really like the sizing of this. And actually, before I continue any further, I'm just going to throw it on wrist so you can see what a 37 millimeter looks like on a 7-inch wrist. I found the Rolex to be maybe a little bit small. This 37 actually makes a little bit of a difference. I think the wear of this is actually perfection. I would not go any bigger than this if you've got a 7-inch wrist. But again, that's a personal preference thing. Some of you may prefer the larger 40 or whatever size. But for me, the 37 here is a great size for this type of kind of sport dress type watch. All right, so let's do some quick measurements. As I mentioned to you, these both are going to measure exactly the same at 37 millimeters. So you can see that there, 37 dead on. This one here is going to measure 37 dead on, pretty much 36, 37, yeah, 36.7. Okay, so pretty much the same thing. Lug to lug distance, that's an important one to know. And this one here comes in at 43 millimeters, let's call it 43, 44, somewhere in there. The quartz model comes in at, just let me make sure I get this on here for you guys. Okay, 43.8. So again, very, very similar. The big difference is going to be the thickness of the watch. So here, if you go here like this, and you can see we're coming at 9.8 millimeters for the thickness of the watch. 9.8 and yeah, 9.8, 9.9. You know what? For all intents and purposes, I'll call it 10. Here's the automatic. This is going to be a little bit thicker. And this is coming in at around 13 or 13.1. So 13, yeah, 13.1, 13.2, somewhere in there. So call it 13 and call this 10 millimeters in thickness. So that's going to be the biggest difference between these two watches. Now, where that thickness comes in is in two places. This one has a domed crystal. This one is flat. Also, the case back protrudes out the back a little bit to house the automatic movement. And this one is flat. And you can see also there, it's not a display case back. It's just a closed case back. Even though that 9F movement is not bad looking at all for a quartz movement, it's actually very nice. And it's not your average quartz movement. I dare to say it's probably one of the world's best quartz movements as far as accuracy goes and servicing. Well, according to Grand Seiko, the service intervals for the quartz movement is 50 years. The battery, you replace it as you need it. I think typically a battery, you can expect about 4 or 5 years out of a battery before you have to change it. And then this one here, of course, the service intervals are going to be a little bit more. I think most automatics, they require servicing, they say every 5 years or so. I just go by when it starts to run kind of not very good, and that's when I'll get it serviced. So, and you can see here, the movement on this here is quite attractive. It's got nice decoration in that. And again, that is the 9S65A movement. And sorry, these are real smudge magnets, these watches. I'm just trying to keep it clean here. I should have maybe done a more thorough job of cleaning my hands. But anyway, I just wanted to stress to you all out there, if you haven't tried Grand Seiko, go try one on. They're phenomenal watches, and without hesitation, if you're just looking at the watch, not for resale or anything like that, this is a watch I would pick over the Rolex Datejust. And to be honest with you, it's not even really that close. The Grand Seikos are that good. And these two particular models on the secondary market, they're a little bit older. You can find these on eBay, on Chrono24. The quartz model, you can find one for as low as about 1,500 Canadian to up to 2,500 to 3,000. So I would say call it an average of about $2,000 for the quartz version. And then for the automatic, you're going to pay a little bit more. Typically, these go for around 3,000 to 5,000, let's say. So expect to spend about $3,500 to $4,000, again, Canadian dollars, on one of these. And what can I say? These are phenomenal watches, guys. I'm not kidding you. I'm not getting paid to do this. I'm just sharing what I know and what I feel. Again, take it with a grain of salt. This is my opinions. And these two dial colors are my favorite, by the way. Silver and the black. Both, you can see the black is a lot more blingy. If you like blingy, go for the black. If you like a little bit more subtle, go for the silver. It's a really nice kind of creamy silver color. It's beautiful. For me, the black is a little bit much. I'm just going to show you something too. The thing I found with the black is that you're going to be cleaning it off quite a bit because the black shows fingerprints and it reflects more very easily. Like you can see there, I put my finger on there and you can see it very easily on the crystal. So I'm just going to wipe that off. Now I'm going to do the same thing on the silver, and you're going to notice that, you know what, it doesn't show the fingerprint as much, not nearly anyway. So there you go. There I put my finger again on the silver. So that's kind of the big advantage with the silver that I find, is that it doesn't show the fingerprints. Yeah, so that to me is a big plus. And plus, I like silver. And I'm really curious to see what you guys prefer. Do you like the silver or do you like the black dial better on the Grand Seiko? And the other thing I want to know is, what do you think of that Cyclops? Do you think that's a good move, bad move? I got a little speck of dirt there. Dang it. That's okay. But anyway, and like I've done a video on how to install that. It is a sapphire glass. Of course, both these are also sapphire glass as well. Well, the other thing I want to show you too is the information that you get, or the booklets that you get with the Grand Seiko. So here's what you get in the box. I'm not going to bother showing you the box, but this is typically what you get. So I'm just going to quickly do this. So you open this up. This will give you the purchase date and so on of the watch, and the model number and so on. So there's the information there. And you can see it's the SBGR235. There's the serial number. And I saw the date somewhere. Okay, 2019. Yeah, there it is there. So this was 2019, October 24th. So yeah, the watch is about 5 years old now. So 5-6 years old. Still runs great. I'll be putting it on a time grapher for you. I've already done that, but I'm going to put it in the video, and you're going to be quite surprised at how great that watch is still running. The Rolex, it ran very good too. No issues there. I just prefer the sizing and the looks of the Grand Seiko more than the Datejust. And here's the other certificate that they have here. And this is the testing papers. And you can see here, these are the standards that the watch has met. So the standard is -3 to +5 seconds per day. So it is a highly accurate watch. And like I said, in my opinion, for those price ranges, let's say you got a great deal. Let's say you pick this up for $2,000, can't beat it. Best watch for $2,000, hands down. No shame in owning a quartz. These are fantastic. If you want it automatic, you want to pay a little bit more, these are going to start at around $3,000 Canadian and up, depending on how complete it is and the condition and how desperate the guy wants to sell the watch. But there you go. So let's say $2,000 and $3,000 for these. Phenomenal buys. You're not going to get a better watch than this. A comparable Rolex Datejust is going to run you at least $7,000, $8,000, $9,000, $10,000 Canadian. Whereas you get the Grand Seiko for what I would consider to be an extreme bargain. So there you have it. Those are my thoughts on Grand Seiko. Don't hesitate to check them out. Well worth it. And honestly, Grand Seiko and Seiko in general has rewritten the rule books on accuracy. If you learn a little bit about the testing that they went through, and also the when back in, I think it was, I'm just trying to figure out when they did the testing in that, and Astronomical Observatory testings at Neuchatel. They did so well that they canceled the competition. I'll put a link to that video, and it's quite interesting because they entered their first competition, and I think it was like 1964. Yeah, it was my birth year. That's how old I am. And it didn't do well because they found out that while they were sending them over from Japan to France, they got magnetized. So it threw everything out. 1965, they didn't do much better. 1966, they did quite a bit better. They finished one of them in 6th place. But after that, 1967, they dominated. They took 4th to 11th places. And the only ones that beat them were the new, at that time, Swiss-made quartz watches. But guess what? The Seiko, the next year, Grand Seiko, they introduced their quartz watches, and again, they blew the Swiss watches out of the water. So again, if anyone tells you that the Rolex is a more accurate watch or a better watch than a Grand Seiko, I don't think so. So there you have it. Have a great day, guys. Oh, don't forget to like and subscribe.